Originally from Honolulu. Please give it up for Mr. Mark Hoffmeier.
So, I have a dark secret. I don't like to talk about it. I've had a hard time with it for a number of years now. I've been in a lot of therapy, trying to deal with it. My therapist has convinced me I need to, steer into this skid and just come right out and say it so people aren't judging me. So here goes. I used to write for Power Rangers. Let the healing begin. Thank you. I don't know if you remember the first season, Pineapple the Clown, the circus clown that turns into a giant 20-foot pineapple with long, stinging tentacles. Yeah, my best work. Thank you. Here's a fun fact about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. When it was originally translated, Indonesia refused to air it because they didn't want any superheroes that were on morphine. And I thought, well, that would be kind of an interesting variation on the show, right? Okay, man, we can fight the giant shrimp-headed dude, or I can just dose myself up some... Oh, yeah. Fight yourself, man. Just fight yourself. Another fun fact about the show, if you didn't realize this, is that it was done fairly inexpensively. I know I'm crushing some dreams out there. I know there's some the Japanese guys in the pajamas with the motorcycle helmets fighting the big rubber starfish was done on the cheap. Oh, my childhood is ruined. But, because of that, strange things happened on the show. Okay, so here's one. I think this was the third season. We had two characters on the show, Bulk and Skull. Bulk and Skull were the plucky comic relief. Bulk was, of course, bulky. Skull was, of course, skinny. And these guys were making, I think, $450 a week each. Okay? They were sharing a Nissan Sentra between them. Okay? So, not exactly the Hollywood dream, okay? And now all of a sudden they're seeing that this show is a huge hit, that there are like $1 gazillion worth of toys out there, that the toys have their faces on them. And so they come to the producer and they say, we were wondering for an extra $250 a week. Okay, not a great sum, but the producer goes in to ask the big boss if Bulk and Skull can get an extra $250 a week, which he thinks will be no problem. The big boss shot up behind his desk. What? Is their name on the building? Why are they taking food from my children's mouths? I want you to replace them with monkeys. Get out. So the producer was kind of shocked, and he went out, and he was in the bullpen area where we all sort of worked, and he said, the big boss said I'm supposed to replace Bulk and Skull with monkeys. And somebody who'd worked there a while said, yeah, you better look into that. Okay. So he starts making calls, and he discovers that to get monkeys who are trained to be actors would cost $1,500 a week each. Okay, so he figures, that's my trump card. I got out of this. So he goes back into the big boss's office and he says, boss, I looked into those monkeys you wanted, and the monkeys will be $1,500 a week each. And the big boss, enraged, shoots up out of his chair. Did I ask you to get the fucking Robert De Niro of monkeys? I want you to get me some cheap, used monkeys. Get out! Okay, so now the producer comes out into the bullpen. He's like, I gotta find some used monkeys. So he starts making calls. He finds a retired animal actor's home out in Saugus. Right? So the next week, this truck pulls up with two monkeys in it. They weren't driving, okay? They obeyed the laws of our land, right? So the monkeys pull up, they got their handler with them. The handler lets this one old chimp out of its cage, and the first thing it does is start humping the first production assistant. And the guy's like, it's okay, I just have this stick here, I whack him in the ding-a-ling and he'll be fine. Okay, is he going to be okay on camera? Yeah, just angle the camera so you don't see me whacking him in the ding-a-ling, okay? He'll do anything you want. They get the next monkey out of the cage, and he's got like a skin condition, and we're like, what's up with him? He's got the monkey herpes. Yeah, given the proclivities of the first monkey, I didn't want to ask how he got the monkey herpes, okay? So don't let anybody touch him, and you're going to have to burn all his costumes, okay? So that week on the set, we had to come up with a means whereby Rita Repulsa, the evil witch, turns our comic relief guys, Bulk and Skull, into monkeys, which she did using the simian ray. Thank you again. No Emmy nomination for that. Okay? So she turns them into monkeys, and so for like 6 weeks, there's like whacking in the ding-a-ling and burning of costumes, and Bulk and Skull are monkeys. Now, here's where the handler of the monkeys made a strategic error. So after about 6 weeks, he comes up to the producer and says, "You know, my monkey's been working here about 6 weeks now. Thinking maybe they deserve a raise." Okay, so the producer walks into the big boss and says, "You know, the monkeys would like a raise." So the big boss shoots up from behind his desk. "Why are they taking bananas from my children's mouths? I want you to replace them with creatures that are easier to handle. Get some actors in there." So they got the original Bulk and Skull, came back. They were back on the show then for another, I think, 8 or 9 seasons. And the monkeys went back into their retirement, So I have a mixed feeling about working on that show, but I'm also sort of proud of that show. The guy who created Power Rangers, Time Savant, I helped make him a billionaire. Okay, so right, hey, let me tell you, here's how smart he was. He sold that show to Disney for $1 billion, bought it back from Disney, right, and then about 8 years later sold it to Hasbro for another $1 billion. Okay, right? So smart, right? Not a dummy. And so talking about billionaires, monkeys, and super geniuses, that's what we call in the business of transition. So I thought I'd pull back the curtain for a second there. I like to imagine what it would be like if, say, Haim Saban had sold Power Rangers to another billionaire we all know. Who sits in the White House. I think the show might have been a little different, but I think it might have gone something like this.
Thank you all very much. It's really great to be here today, to welcome you all. Okay, of course the show is going to be renamed. It's going to be Trumpy Rangers Space Force, okay? The first thing I have to say is, Black Ranger, you're fired, okay? Sorry. I'll be stepping in as the Orange Ranger, okay, the chosen one, okay? I will, of course, be taking all the credit for the fighting and winning. There'll be huge winning. I won't be doing the fighting, though, because I have some bone spurs. I forget which foot, but I won't be doing that. Also, I'd like to announce that my lovely daughter, Ivanka, will be taking over as the Pink Ranger, okay? Because she's lovely. And I need to have the writers come up with some ways that the Pink Ranger can be in a bikini lounging by the pool, okay? Because my daughter's hot. And I'm saying that. It's not creepy, okay? It's not creepy. I'm not saying I'd hit that, okay? But let's face it, if I were younger, I'd hit that, okay? Okay? Nothing wrong with that except for, the laws. Okay, anyway. Another big announcement I'd like to make. We're shutting down the command center here where the Power Rangers have been because it's this sort of drafty old shitbox. We're going to move the whole operation to Mar-a-Lago, okay? Lovely. I own it. It's got pools. It's really fantastic, okay? The other thing I wanted to mention briefly is that a lot of people are like, why are you negotiating with Rita Repulsa, the evil witch? Now, why? Why? Well, so she's nasty, okay? Very nasty woman. I just have to say that. But shouldn't we be talking to her? Right, her people love her. Her monsters love her. And so I'm going to be initiating a plan where, hey, maybe she loans me some money and we can be friends, okay? I'm thinking that might be a good thing. In fact, here's my press agent, Alpha 5. Alpha 5, you want to talk about this? Thank you very much. Take a dip in the pool, would you please? Now, I'd like to look at some of the monsters we'll be facing in the coming season of Trumpy Rangers Space Force. Okay? The first monster we'll be facing is the giant tariff monster from China, okay? It's huge, but easy to beat. Easy to win. I'm just telling you that right now. The next monster we'll be facing is the huge Kofefe monster, okay? Huge covfefe. I don't know what it is. I don't know what its powers are. Does it matter? I don't know. We'll find it. Okay. That's going to be the next monster we fight. And of course, the last monster we're going to be fighting is the horrible, horrible Hurricaniac. Okay. The Hurricaniac is spinning off the eastern seaboard right now. Okay. If you look at this chart, you'll see that the horrible Hurricaniac, and I can say that without even looking at the teleprompter, okay, because I have it mesmerized, I'm a genius. The horrible Hurricaniac is set to attack Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, and also Alabama. I'm sorry, what's that, Green Ranger? By the way, I don't think you're a real ranger, you're a fake ranger. Okay, what is that? Oh, the chart doesn't show that it's going to attack Alabama? Oh, yeah? There, now it does, okay? By the way, you're fired for not selling me Greenland, Green Ranger, okay? By the way. Now, before I go, I'd like us to all sing the new official Trumpy Rangers theme song. Go, go, Trumpy Rangers, you money-making Trumpy Rangers, go!
And I'd like to conclude by saying, one of the things I learned about being on Power Rangers was that, sometimes in life there are monsters you have to fight and there are bullies you have to face down. And so I'm hoping in the coming couple years here, we find our inner empowerment rangers, right? And we go fight those monsters that we got to take down. Especially our lovely orange rangers. So go empowerment rangers. Thank you very much.
Message. Please give it up for Mark Hoffmeier.